think he has absolutely lowered the standard in terms of being president of the United States. He made no mention of racism in America when he ran for president, not once, but twice. And I have dubbed him today rapper-in-chief for using such language. Obama was elected twice. It wasn't only with black voters.
A black senator in South Carolina.
Black votes.
But here we're talking about a flag, and here we're talking about racism again, that people are saying that is rampant in America.
Harsh criticism for President Obama after he used the N-word in an interview about race relations. And the question now is, did he go too far in using that word? And also, was it effective in what he was trying to convey, which may be the most important question here? Our panel, David Webb, host of The David Webb Show on SiriusXM's Patriot Channel, columnist for The Hill and Fox News contributor. That was him last night filling in on Hannity. And Leslie Marshall is a syndicated radio talk show host and Fox News contributor. Welcome to
Martha.
both of you. Good morning to you. Deneen Borelli got a lot of backlash for that, for the rapper-in-chief comment and for saying that it was below the presidency to use that word in the garage interview that he did on the podcast with somebody named Mark Moran. What do you think, David?
Well, I mean, the president pretty much put his presidency on the level of Kanye, who went off at a concert with an N-word filled call it spoken word piece, I guess, on South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Look, the office of the presidency, forget party for a moment. It doesn't matter whether you're on a podcast or you're at the White House podium. It is magnified not only to this country, but to the world. There is a decorum that goes with that office, and this president has violated that. Even Mark Morial, who certainly doesn't sit on the right side of the aisle, he agrees that the president has taken this. But now, you know, let me ask the question: is the president now going to use this in the White House or in the Rose Garden?
Well,
is this now acceptable?
I
it is disgusting to use.
Leslie, you're not alone in feeling that it's beneath the office of the presidency to use that word. And obviously, he understands the power of his pulpit, Leslie, and he used it quite intentionally. And he wanted to make a point. That point may be largely lost, though. What do you think the point was that he was trying to make?
Oh, I don't think the point was largely lost, and I think he was using that word, and I think effectively, to further that point, which is what that word stands for in the history of African Americans in this country, and the sting of that word. And racism is still alive today on the heels of the deaths of those 9 people in South Carolina, with the alleged killings being racially motivated. And I'm not saying alleged that it was racially motivated, but obviously, even with the confession, we don't have a trial that's been complete at this time. So I wrote a piece about this for the Huffington Post. I think it's going to run today. I wrote a piece about this years ago. There are times where the word needs to be said. This is not about rapping. This is about the emphasis and the meaning tied into the racism and the history and the disparaging remarks, and unfortunately those feelings that still ring true today for many.
Leslie, he could have done this without the word. And Martha, if I can just interject.
All right, I hear you, David. But the president needs to, he uses his time in a very powerful way. He uses his moments in a very powerful way. And I was reminded of what we saw in France with the Charlie Hebdo march, and the backlash that the president got for not going and being part of that. And then you have what happened in South Carolina over the weekend. This is a moment when the president could be embracing what we saw on that bridge. He could be embracing what we saw in that church on Sunday, talking about the importance of faith, of pulling people together, of the unity that we are seeing in South Carolina. And I don't doubt that he's going to make these points on Friday when he does, when he is at the Reverend's funeral on Friday. But this pulls us so far away from these positive moments, David, that I just wonder what the point is of pulling us away from that.
Martha, I don't know the president's motivation, but boy, are you on point on this. I interviewed his widow, the Reverend's widow, and his granddaughter, Alana, last night on Hannity. And let me tell you, I look at that family, I see a family that in the light of incredible tragedy that none of us want to go through, show themselves to be strong, united, a good example of good, solid Christian family values, standing together. The president had an opportunity here to highlight that. And to talk about how we react to individual racists when they come out and do what this young man did.
We listened to the pastor the other day on Sunday, saying, they thought we would riot. they don't know who we are.
The community.
They don't understand us. And what an amazing moment that was. And now here we are talking about the N-word, Leslie. Why?
Well, first of all, we have to put it in context. I mean, he was asked certain questions by the interviewer in this podcast. Secondly, the president can't just show up or speak about things that are negative or positive. As you said, he's going to be there Friday. I'm sure he will address this.
He can show up anywhere he wants and make any point he wants to make, Leslie.
This is not the only issue that is going on. There are trade deals that he's trying to get through. He is president. He's been ignored. I don't think it's been ignored. He'll be there Friday.
You're telling me that Kanye uses it on stage and it's okay. What if someone who was white used it? No, let me finish. What if someone who was white used
I don't feel it's right for anyone
context?
to be using that word.
Then why
I don't feel it's right for anyone to be using that word.
The wrap here, guys. Thank you very much, David, Leslie. Thank you both for being here.